The night was heavy with the hum of city life. Streetlights flickered against cracked pavements, and the air smelled faintly of gasoline and fried food from nearby vendors. Marcus Elijah Carter walked with a steady stride, his polished shoes tapping against the wet sidewalk. His navy suit fit sharply against his tall, athletic frame, and in his left hand, he carried the same leather briefcase he had owned since law school. To strangers, he looked like a man returning from a long day at the office. To Marcus, he was simply a black man in America, and that meant every walk home could be an unpredictable gamble. The flashing blue and red lights appeared behind him without warning. "Hey, you! Stop right there!" Marcus turned, already feeling the familiar knot tighten in his stomach. Two white officers, one young and eager, the other older and hardened by years on the force, approached with hands resting near their holsters. "What seems to be the problem, officers?" Marcus asked calmly, though his voice carried a quiet steel. The younger officer sneered. "Don't play smart. We got a report of a robbery nearby. You fit the description." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "And what description would that be?" The older officer shifted, his jaw tightening. "Tall, black male wearing a suit, carrying a bag." Marcus almost laughed. "So, every professional black man in the city is a suspect tonight?" His words cut through the air like a blade, but they were ignored. Within minutes, his wrists were cuffed, cold steel biting into his skin. Pedestrians stopped to stare, phones rose to record, and whispers rippled through the crowd. Marcus, Harvard-educated attorney and one of the youngest partners at a prestigious law firm, was shoved into the back of the squad car as though he were nothing more than a common criminal. For him, this wasn't just an arrest. It was history repeating itself, the story of his ancestors echoing through his life. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, casting a harsh glow on the small interrogation room. Marcus sat at the table, still cuffed, his briefcase tossed carelessly in the corner. The younger officer, Officer Daniels, paced back and forth, his arrogance dripping with every step. "You thought you could walk around here dressed like that, acting all innocent? You messed with the wrong city tonight." The older one, Sergeant Miller, leaned against the wall, arms crossed. He looked less convinced but said nothing. Marcus straightened in his chair, his calm demeanor unsettling the officers. "I'd like to call my attorney," he said firmly. Daniels smirked. "You think you get to make demands here?" "You're not in your office now, big man. You're in our house." Marcus leaned forward, his voice low and steady. "You don't know whose house you're in." Daniels slammed his hands on the table. "Don't get smart with me. We already got witnesses who saw someone matching your description running from the scene. Just admit it and maybe we'll go easy on you." "Or," Marcus replied, his eyes never leaving Daniels, "you've got a system so desperate to believe the worst about men who look like me that you don't care about the truth." The room fell silent for a moment. Miller shifted uneasily. Daniel's smirk faltered. For Marcus, the handcuffs weren't the heaviest burden in that room. It was the weight of centuries of assumptions. Hours passed. Marcus remained calm, his silence both a shield and a weapon. Finally, Miller tossed his briefcase onto the table. "What's in the bag?" Miller asked. Marcus gestured with his chin. "Why don't you open it?" Inside lay neatly organized files, legal documents, and his lawyer ID, embossed with gold lettering, Marcus E. Carter. Askance the seal of the state bar gleamed under the fluorescent lights. Daniels blinked, his bravado cracking. This doesn't prove anything. Could be fake." Marcus smiled faintly. "Call the firm, Carter and Wallace. Ask for me. Or better yet, Google my name." Miller hesitated, then quietly stepped out. Daniels stood frozen, his anger now mixed with embarrassment. Minutes later, Miller returned, his face pale. He cleared his throat. "He's telling the truth. He's a lawyer. A damn good one from what I can see." Daniel's jaw dropped. "You're kidding me!" Marcus leaned back, the faintest edge of triumph in his eyes. "No, officer. What's shocking is that it took you this long to realize who I am. That's the real crime here." Word began to ripple through the precinct. The man they had arrested wasn't just any suspect. He was one of the city's most respected attorneys. Whispers spread. Some officers laughed it off, others frowned with unease. A few muttered about bad optics, but Marcus knew better. It wasn't optics. It was injustice, plain and simple. When the precinct captain finally entered, her expression was a mix of irritation and concern. "What the hell is going on here?" Miller explained. Daniels defended himself. Marcus sat silently, letting the storm rage around him. Finally, Marcus spoke. "This isn't about me alone. This is about every man who looked like me and was never given the chance to prove who he was." The captain studied him. "You could file a complaint. Make this ugly for us." Marcus's eyes hardened. "Maybe I will. Or maybe I'll do something worse. I'll tell the truth." The next morning, headlines blared. "Prominent black lawyer wrongfully arrested by police. Mistaken identity or racial profiling. Systemic bias exposed in shocking arrest." The footage taken by bystanders had gone viral. Millions watched Marcus, handcuffed in his suit, being shoved into the squad car. The image became a symbol. News vans crowded outside the precinct. Civil rights groups demanded answers. The mayor's office scrambled to control the fallout. Marcus, however, stood at the center of it all, not as a victim, but as a voice. "This isn't just about Marcus Carter," he told the cameras. "This is about every Marcus Carter who never got the chance to speak." The community rallied. Church leaders preached about the injustice. Students marched with signs that read, "Justice for Marcus means justice for all." But not everyone supported him. On social media, critics called him arrogant, playing the race card, or even a liar trying to humiliate good cops. Marcus knew the battle wasn't only in the courtroom, it was in the hearts of people. Every word he spoke carried the weight of his community's struggle. Every step he took was watched. Marcus didn't just file a complaint. He filed a lawsuit against the department, against the officers, and against the system itself. He used his own expertise, standing as both lawyer and plaintiff. In court, his voice thundered, "What happened to me is not rare. What's rare is that I had the resources to fight back." The courtroom gasped. The judge leaned forward. The city squirmed. As the trial unfolded, new evidence emerged. The anonymous tip that led to Marcus's arrest wasn't so anonymous. It came from someone inside the department, someone who had resented Marcus for winning cases that exposed police misconduct. It wasn't a mistake. It was a setup. Marcus realized this fight wasn't just about him. It was about dismantling the corruption that thrived in the shadows of justice. Witness after witness testified. Some police officers broke the blue wall of silence, admitting that racial profiling was routine. Others doubled down, their words dripping with bitterness. Marcus's calm, relentless questioning dismantled every excuse. Piece by piece, the truth emerged, undeniable and raw. The tide turned. Public opinion shifted further. Even those who doubted began to see the ugly truth laid bare. The final verdict came not just from the judge, but from the people. Marcus won the case. The city settled, but more importantly, policies changed. Training, accountability, oversight, reforms were promised. And this time, the world was watching. As Marcus left the courthouse, cameras flashing, a young black boy ran up to him. "Mr. Carter, sir, I want to be a lawyer like you someday." Marcus bent down, meeting the boy's eyes. "Then promise me one thing. Don't just be a lawyer. Be the truth." The boy nodded. Marcus stood tall, the weight of struggle still heavy but no longer suffocating. His story was just one of many. But it was proof that even when the system tried to chain him, his identity, his truth, and his fight for justice would always break free. Marcus's wrongful arrest was not just about one man in a suit. It was a reflection of a system that, too, often judges people by the color of their skin, before the content of their character. His calm strength, resilience, and determination to seek justice turned humiliation into empowerment, exposing truths that could no longer be ignored. The lesson is clear. Dignity and truth can break chains of prejudice, and every act of courage against injustice becomes a beacon of hope for those who follow.